What's cracking with you people? I'm the Devious Wolf and welcome back to the finale of Amuro Ray's story in Dynasty Warriors Gundam. In the last one, we fought the character from Zeta Gundam. I rambled about language, and then we saw this game's version of original character Do Not Steal in the form of a really Banffy looking design for a Gundam. In this one, we're going to head off to the mausoleum and find Char, who left us at the end of the satellite elevator, and hopefully put an end to this. Let's go.
Where did you run off to, Char? Don't tell me you really...
I bet he's trying to join forces with the doll.
Huh. Does that mean he has plans for Earth?
Lieutenant.
If he becomes an obstacle, we'll just have to eliminate him.
But it won't be that easy.
No, Hiro's right. We have to stop this planet no matter the cost.
Yes. We all have a role to play. If the Lieutenant has gone rogue, well, we'll have to stop him.
We've confirmed that the doll is currently in a subterranean chamber in the center of this planet.
Then all we have to do is get in there!
Of course, only mobile suits can get into the underground chamber. If we lose our territory, though, our escape route will be cut off. We're picking up a large number of enemies, but all we need to do is take out that doll. Stay focused, and don't overextend yourselves.
Roger.
Right. I'll be careful.
Let's get a move on then.
Where are you, Char? What are you up to? Never thought I'd pilot this again. Char, what are you doing here?
Well, if any of you are fans of Halo 2, considering this is the only comparison I have, because that's the only other game I ever heard the term mausoleum from, then you will know that mausoleum essentially means tomb. Yay! We're in a gigantic tomb! And since this tomb's in the center of the planet, which means we're underground inside the planet itself, the planet's a gigantic tomb. How appropriate. Now the point of this is that we gotta get the Char real fast. And trust me, you don't want to dilly-dally. We don't have the maneuverability of the second game and the third game to really move, so you can only capture so many fields on your way over.
We have to link up fast.
Panicking will only make it worse.
But yeah.
Roger that.
Now I know that as far as this game goes, as far as this game's story goes, there hasn't been much in terms of it, you know, his original story, and in order to get the full scope of it, is a lot like Sonic Adventure, the Adventure series of Sonic games, at least the Adventure style of Sonic games, which pretty much led all the way up until I'm gonna go quiet but trigger cutscene. Let's go.
Char! Amuro. Char, I'm sorry. I doubted you. Just like everyone else.
Why should people trust me? They don't have any reason. Yet. Distrust is human nature. Distrust creates doubt. And doubt makes people misjudge the intentions of others. But people can change, can't they, Amuro?
Yeah, I realize that now. That's why I'm going to join you.
Yeah, it's important to note, before we get any further into this, that Char's entire character is essentially morally gray. Like, morally gray. He's only ever really been an outright bad guy in the movie Char's Counterattack. And to spoil the movie for you, he brings back a plot point from the very first series. Now keep in mind, Char's Counterattack happens after, if my memory serves correct, happens after Double Zeta, happens after Zeta, which Zeta Gundam happens after the original Gundam, and then Double Zeta happens after Zeta. Obviously, because you can't have Double Zeta and then go down to Single Zeta, that would just make no sense. And then there's like 2 or 3 in between OVA films, and then we have Char's Counterattack. Because the only other movie that happens in between there is F91, and I don't think that takes place in the same canonical series, like in canonical universe. I don't think it does. It might. I have to double check that one because that one's admittedly always been a confusing point for me. But between all those years, between all those series, Char's first big villainous thing occurs, I think canonically speaking, maybe 3 years. Not 3 years, maybe 20 years, real time.
What can the common man do besides hold true genius back?
It also should be worth noting that both Judo and Camille are facing their big antagonists of their series. Like, that should be worth knowing. Like, Haman was in Zeta Gundam. She was. She was leading the resurgence of the Zeon forces, which is the name of the antagonist army force in the Gundam, the original Gundam universe. Now, Shirako is the antagonist of Zeta Gundam. And fun fact, Zeta Gundam ends with Camille going crazy. I'm not kidding. One of the plot points is that at the end of it, and it's a real big journey. It's like, honestly, I think next to Amuro, Camille is probably the most tragic figure in the Gundam universe, just because of all the crap that happens to him. Like, legitimately, everything that has happened, his mom getting killed right in front of his face, having his other murder figure get killed right in front of his face, watching many people he cares about get killed right in front of his face, his childhood friend. Oh yeah, this thing. His childhood friend just, I mean, only there moral support, but that's hardly effective. It just, Jesus. The kid cannot catch a break, and to top it all off, he goes crazy. He goes mentally insane. I'm not kidding. But at the end of Double Zeta, luckily, because Double Zeta is a much more light-hearted series, he does reestablish his personality. So it's not all terrible.
We have to have faith in ourselves. Leave these ones to me.
And Shirako. Okay, so you know how I say that there really isn't that many like, in terms of the series, there hasn't been a straight up antagonist, you know. It's not someone who does bad things for the sake of being bad. He might do things that are terrible, but he's never actually outright trying to be malicious. Shirako is probably the closest thing to straight up antagonist material that I think the Gundam series has actually had. because he's an egotist. Like Haman's legitimately trying to bring the world together, much like Char. Like they're two halves of the exact same coin. They're both of them want peace, and they want new types to come into the new world order. To be the new world order. However, Char wants new types to be recognized for what they are. You know, being what's the word I'm looking for here? Being a new brand of human evolution, where Haman essentially wants to be Magneto. Like, put it like this: Char's blah 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 blah. Char's Professor Xavier, Haman's Magneto. For my Marvel fans out there, I'm probably not gonna be able to save both, but I think that's the point of this mission. You're not gonna be able to save everybody. I think if I brought like a better mobile suit, I might be able to, but I want to do this with the actual, you know, classic mobile suit, since, you know, if you use the mobile suit that's associated with the character, you actually get, you know, unique cutscenes, and I want to show those off. Okay, so Kingdom's mobile suit was destroyed. I'm not crazy. It was like Dome's got blown up too. Oh, what are we gonna do? So yeah, it's like coming back to this game. Like, this is legitimately like the only game I have. This is like one of the only few games I've actually maxed out in terms of like gamer score on the 360, because it's so easy to get. It's like an easy 1000. It's like so easy. I'm not kidding. But it is rather difficult to get used to just how slow it plays. And while I do like this game, you know, I like how the art style looks. I like how each of the characters are unique. I love how they got the original voice actors, English voice actors anyway, where there was English voice actors. I love how they got them back. And I just love everything about it, but man, is it slow. Like, it is really slow. And I'm just like, man, I gotta get used to how slow this thing is, because I'm used to being able to zip across the field. And not just zip across the field, I mean, I'm used to being able to actually like legitimately move across the field. Because the one thing I failed to mention is that when you're boosting, you are locked into one movement. You know, you are locked into one, and I mean one direction. You can't move left or right. You can't go up. You can't you can't turn, essentially. You're just going straight. You're going straight, or you're going whatever direction you side dash in. The later games, they correct that you can actually turn. You know, like the only way you're not, the only moves that let you dash forward, stay dashing forward at a reasonable pace, and turn are the mobile suits that transform. And to the best of my knowledge, there's only 3 in the game that do that. Both the Zeta Gundams, because, you know, new Gundam gotta make a transformer, right? And I think at this point, when Zeta was coming out, Transformers had come out, like Hasbro's Transformers series. So I guess they just figured, we might as well do a Transformer style Gundam, unless there was a Japanese series that did the transforming robot thing beforehand, in which case, yeah, that would be the other example. I just don't remember, or well, no, don't remember. I just don't know that much about it. No, I don't know if I can go in and finish this now. I think I have to go in and finish this right about now. In this case, we're going to be finishing this off pretty soon here. Just like to try to finish this with as many of my allies intact as possible. And honestly, it's really weird, you know? It's like, I try to keep all the characters alive on my squad, and I do that in every Dynasty Warriors game. Like, every single one. Gundam, Warriors Orochi, I can't help but do it. Even though you really don't need to. Like, legitimately you don't. Like if you look down the shards in the center, he's the square that's giving off a pulsing outline. You really don't have to do this. I'm just doing this because I want to. And I really shouldn't. But, what are you gonna do? And here comes Jared in the Gundam Mark II. Yeah, they actually did have a Gundam Mark II. And, Camille piloted it. Camille actually piloted the Mark II and then created a, Zeta Gundam because, you know, either his father or his mother were actually technicians, so that's how he knew about mobile suits and how he could actually pilot the Gundam. What you're looking at with Jared is called the Titans variant. The Titans are essentially the bad guys, working for the Earth Forces, who are the good guys in the first series. Yet another way Gundam Seed parallels the original Gundam series, in the sense that the side you think is good turns out to be the bad guys all along. Well, no, I won't say turn out to be the bad guys, they just turn into tyrants. Though, to be fair, I think Gundam Seed made no distinction. I think they pretty much said, yeah, the Earth Forces were kind of in, like, if you watch Gundam Seed, then you pretty much know how it goes. Earth Forces started a race war, essentially, like legitimately a race war. I think it's like eugenics on a global scale, on a interstellar scale, which is really strange to me. But they started a war. They're just doing this for the heck of it. They pretty much acknowledge that, yeah, the guys our protagonists, our heroes are working with might actually be more evil than you think. But hey, what are you gonna do? But yeah, that's what the Titans are. Like I said, I'm not gonna go into them too much since, well, if I remember correctly, we're about done actually. Just as soon as we conquer this field, the big bad will show up, and we go from there. And if I remember correctly, we get a cutscene of him showing up. So I'm gonna keep my eye on that bar at the top here. Cut down some suckers, and go from there.
All systems go. Let's do this. I got it. Not yet. No way. If I lose to this thing, Char's gonna laugh. He's a being of pure hate. We can't let him fall to.
Yeah, this actually is a pretty tough boss when you first fight him.
I know.
It's also fun to note that Musha Gundam actually doesn't have a pilot. Yeah, Musha Gundam's an automatic Gundam, and that's kind of been a staple of the Dynasty Wars franchise. They have a Musou Gundam Mark II, and then they have, well, it's weird. They have Musha Gundams, which are very clearly based off of samurais. They have a samurai theme. I mean, heck, the Mark II is just a much more advanced Musha Gundam. Though oddly enough, I don't think there's actually an official cutscene depicting it. Though I will admit, I actually have not done every single mission in Dynasty Wars Gundam 2, because if you think this game's a little bit repetitive, Dynasty Warriors 2 doesn't even have an original mode. Like, they have original cutscenes, yes, fan-done, like, cutscenes that look like they were fan-made skits, but there's no, like, flowing narrative. It's more of,
My main monitor died.
Char, you can move now, Char, Char. See, this is the problem with this boss fight. If Musha Gundam does a move, that's just it. Like you have to keep Musha Gundam focused on you at all times. Because if Char dies, that's the mission, and that's the hardest part of this mission. So what I recommend doing is, and this is like, I think it's like the first like legitimate walkthrough piece of advice I've actually given this entire series, but keep your special gauge filled. Oh, my health's actually pretty low here. Keep your special gauge filled. Keep your eye on Char. Where is he? Where is he? And make sure he doesn't die. If you see Char sparking, not like he's doing now, but like trust me, you'll notice. But just keep Musha Gundam on tension on you, and when you see him charging up for an attack, use your special attack to counter him. That way, because it cancels out his attack, you do damage to him, you get him in a stun lock, and you stop Char from being an idiot. Which is what I recommend doing in this fight. Like, legitimately, the hardest part of this fight is keeping Char alive. That is it. You can also use. There's also like various combos. Like, I think for Amuro, it's you hit X twice, and then you do Y, and it's essentially, well, if I timed it right. Okay.
This isn't over yet.
Well, it's a good thing he got me with that one, or else Char would have died there. But it essentially stun locks him, which is essentially what you're trying to do. Okay, Char. Okay, we almost got him. This boss was a pain in the butt the first time I fought him, because it was just so difficult to just keep Char from dying. But yeah, that's the end of it. We've brought Dynasty Warriors Gundam to an end. I forget if there's a cutscene after this. I don't think there is, but maybe. But yeah, that's the end of it. All in all, I do think, and I am going to get my final thoughts here, because I'm just going to assume this is like the end of this particular series, which I wouldn't blame people if it is, just because it is a very repetitive game to watch. Like, of all the games, I did like of every single game you could think to do a Let's Play on, or to do any kind of series on, this is very much a hard game to watch. Just because it is very repetitive. There aren't many combos, especially for this one. The combos are not that diverse, they're not that flashy. The graphics, while interesting, aren't really there, and the banter can get repetitive because there's set score limit. There's set triggers, I should say. You know, like you get 100 kills, the character will say a line. You get 1,000 kills, you get a special line. Character is in danger, you know, so on and so forth. And that's about it. There's no real reason to keep up with this series. There's no real reason to actually come back to the first one outside of nostalgia's sake. The second one's okay. I think the third one is the best of the series so far.
Did we do it? What? No!
Amuro, it's breaking up. Get out of here!
No! I don't care! I have to stop this planet!
That's my job, Amuro.
What?
I said it was my job, Amuro. You have different responsibilities. You have to lead humanity in the proper direction. Don't worry, I'll live. After all, we still have a score to settle.
No! Char! Wait! Char! It stopped! You did it, Char! You really did it!
But yeah, that's the that's just what ended up happening. I don't rightly recall. I say rightly recall. I don't rightly see a reason to pick up this game outside of just getting a quick completion. But I do think that if you are a Gundam fan and you haven't at least tried this series out or have thoughts of trying this series out, I highly recommend looking for it. I do. The third game is amazing. It is much faster. There are a lot more combos. There's a lot more characters. Like, this game has characters from the original Gundam, Zeta Gundam, and Double Zeta. They have characters from Turn A Gundam, Wing Gundam, and G Gundam. Dynasty Warriors 2 has all those characters, but it also includes characters from V Gundam, Gundam F91, a movie, the three main protagonists from Gundam Seed, Destiny specifically, those incarnations, which 2 of them are from Gundam Seed, and one more, I want to say. It even includes Char's counterattack in the official mode, which is which I think is a very good way of introducing that movie. The third series has all those characters and characters from X, which is one of my personal favorites, in my top 5, and the new Gundam Unicorn, as well as Gundam 00. All in all, as a launch title for the Xbox and as a first foray into the series, I think it was a good attempt. I think this was a really good launching point for a side series in Dynasty Warriors, because Dynasty Warriors is a very repetitive game series. So you gotta mix it up every once in a while. That's why we have Dynasty Warriors, Warriors Orochi, Gundam, and Hyrule Warriors to stretch it all out. So yeah, I think it's alright. And I highly recommend picking it up first chance you get. At any rate, I've been the Devious Wolf. Thank you for indulging me in this little side project, and I will catch you in the next casual one we do. Until then, peace out.